So much for doing this interview with me. First, I got to say, I cannot believe that you made it out here in Toronto as we speak with this snowstorm going on. How are you handling the storm when you know you got all these interviews to do to talk about your new single?
Well, I live in Vancouver, so normally it's raining there, so the snow's a little bit different. But it's super cold. It's good though. It's just the interviews are so exciting, so I'm kind of like leaving the storm aside. And yeah, thank you for being here.
Well, you know what? I consider you the storm with your great music and everything else. But before we talk about your career, before we talk about anything else, there's something I want fans to know immediately about you and how you give back, because you've got beautiful long hair, but you did something recently with your hair and giving back. I want fans to know about this immediately.
Yeah, so I donated 8 inches of my hair to Wigs for Kids, which is a charity ran by BC Children's Hospital. And yeah.
What made you decide to do something like that? And thank you so much for giving back like that.
Well, I personally want to do as much as I can to help, because getting something as you're in such a young age too, which is what the BC Children's Hospital is, getting cancer is really an unfortunate time. So losing your hair, like for me, I love fashion, I love beauty, so hair's like an important part, and if I didn't have it, it's just different and you can't really go about your day. So to me, even having a little gift like that of someone else's hair can really make a difference.
That is so cool. Like I said, here you are, you got your career going, it's exploding, and you still made time to give back. Thank you so much for doing that. But I want to get to the career now too, because you're talking about BC, because we're talking kind of like country pop kind of thing, aren't we?
Yeah. So I love country music. I love pop music. What I love about them both is because I feel like I can really blend them together. So some songs I write are a lot more pop, some songs are a lot more country, but because I am young too, so I don't really know exactly, I don't want to put myself in a box, so that's what I feel with country pop music. There's a lot more freedom.
Now, does it surprise people? Because when I'm hearing you speak, yes, you are young, but when you sing, you sound a heck of a lot older. Does it surprise people when they hear the music and they meet you and they go, wait a minute, are these two the same?
Yeah, it really does, especially on Friday, which was the release day. I went back to school and everyone was like, wait, was that actually you singing? And I was just like, yeah, because I personally don't notice the difference, because that's always been my singing voice. So yeah. It's
amazing, absolutely. How did this all start for you? The singing and wanting to be part, fashion and everything, the arts. What was it about the arts that made you so intrigued?
Well, I've grown up with music my whole life. My family, my grandma and my mom are very musical and artsy, and I've always known from a young age I wanted to sing, I wanted to songwrite. I play guitar, piano, and I started vocal lessons at the age of 10. I've always been like an old soul though in what I love to sing. Yeah, so
when you say that, I mean, what were some of the music that you were listening to? I gotta assume you were listening to like the music that your parents were listening to.
Yeah, not only that though, like my first song that I ever sang in my room, which actually I showed my mom, and that's what she put me in vocal lessons for, was Hallelujah. And I've always loved Patsy Cline and Queen. So I've always loved stuff like that.
You went for not just the great classics, but probably the most hardest music to sing. Did it surprise your parents that you had such great vocal control?
Yeah, I think it did. I've always been musical though, but singing to me is really I look at it as a way of expressing feelings and getting bottled up feelings out and emotions. And when I watch a performance, I want it to make me cry. I want it to, really, when it's finished, I'm like, wow. And that's what I feel a lot of, Hallelujah and a lot of Queen songs do, and that's really what I love.
Now, one of the things that, these days you can do you can sing on YouTube and stuff like that, and you can post it and stuff. You still kind of went the traditional route because you were performing in front of audiences and you did competitions too, right?
Yeah. So I'm a part of Studio Cloud 30. They have a red carpet every year. It's super fun, and I've done a lot of performances just at farm festivals, the Richmond Night Market, and stuff like that.
Was that ever scary for you? Like, do you remember the first time you stood in front of a real audience, what that was like?
Yeah, so the first time I did any performance in front of anyone that wasn't friends and family was the Studio Cloud 30 red carpet. There was quite a bit of people there, and I actually did it a month after I started vocal lessons. So everyone, my vocal teachers especially, they were like, okay, you're welcome to do it, but there's no pressure because you just started. And I was like, it was for my 10th birthday. So my birthday's in June and the red carpet was in August. So I went there and I sang an Adele song and a Kelly Clarkson song, and it was also with a live band. So it was very nerve-wracking. I personally love the nerves though, because it reminds me how much I love doing this and how much I want it.
Standing ovation? It had to be a standing ovation.
I honestly don't really remember, but I look back at the video of me singing, and I never realized it in the moment, but especially when I was that young, I just like belted the songs out, and I never thought of it as a scary thing while I was doing it. But I look back, and I'm like, I had a lot of like guts to go to like this red carpet event a month after I started singing lessons.
You know, and doing this kind of stuff, we're going to talk about the new single in a second. You know, you're sort of leading yourself into being a role model. Are you ready for that too? Because these days it's not just about standing in front of a microphone and performing. These days people look up to you. They want to know about your life. They don't want to know about things. They want to know that what you've done they can achieve. Are you ready to be part of that group?
Yeah, I've always been excited about that. I'm the oldest of 6 siblings, so I have 3 younger sisters, 2 younger brothers, and my sisters especially have always looked up to me, and because they are younger, so I've always had that role model kind of look. I always loved babysitting when I was younger. And it really excites me to think of myself that way, because I have so many role models in music especially, and to think that like one day that could be me, it's really exciting.
I'm just curious, who are your role models?
I love Beyonce. She's one of my favorites. I love Carrie Underwood, Taylor Swift, Avril Lavigne, yeah, so many.
You ever think that maybe one day that, you know, those names could be read off on a red carpet or an award show and your name could be sandwiched in between there?
Yeah, that to me is like my all-time dream. It has been since I was little. I've never wanted to do anything else. And I know like it's not always my choice in where I want to go in life, but I'm going to continue to shoot for the stars, and like again, that is my dream, to be there.
Shooting for the stars, let's talk about what's the new single called?
Forever and Ever.
Now, like I said, I listened to it and I went, OMG, is this the same person? Like, the vocals were amazing. What's the song about, and how did this all come about with the company and everything else, too?
So I've always known I wanted to start songwriting. I've always had a journal to put my thoughts down, because I am like a very emotional person, especially like I'm still growing up, but when I was growing up, I always, I could just start crying like that. I could start being happy like that. So I had a lot of emotions to put into the song, and when I went into it, I really was like, okay, wait, I don't know how to put them together. So the first lyrics of the song is, why can't I find the words I need to say? And from there, so many feelings, emotions that I've had before went into it, and it's just about being lost, stuck, and needing answers, but through it all, having hope.
Are you happy that not just the new school is enjoying it, but old school seems to be enjoying it, too?
Yeah, I am.
Your friends, you kind of mentioned earlier when they said, is that you? What's the reaction now? I mean, before the single came out and after, have you become like the popular gal in school? Just curious.
Well, I have like my super close friends, which know about it. And so that wasn't as much as a difference, but especially everyone who's knows that I sing but haven't heard me yet. I went to school on Friday, and that was the day of the release, and everyone was just like blown away. So I've only been to school like one day when it was kind of like that, so I don't really know what it's going to be yet, but everyone knows I'm here right now. And it's really like, it's such an honor though to feel like all my friends, and even people that aren't exactly like my close friends but just peers at school, respect that I sing, and they're so proud, so I'm thankful for that.
I love it. Okay, so when are we going to hear about an EP or an album. And as we're talking, it's, you know, just the end of January. What's going to happen with the rest of the year? Are we going to do any festivals? Are you coming back here in the Ontario region? What's going to happen?
So I'm not exactly sure yet. There's a couple more singles, possibly an EP, possibly an album coming out soon. And just stay tuned on my website, ChyenneMay.com, Instagram, Facebook, and I will be doing a lot of performances locally around Vancouver.
Fantastic. Okay, before we go, what advice can you give, you know, those folks who are hopefully shooting for the stars and following their dreams? You're doing it right now at your young age. What advice can you give them in case, you know, they start seeing a dark tunnel and hopefully they'll see the light at the end of it?
Yeah, so honestly, just shoot for the stars, dream big, and don't let anyone tell you what you can and can't do. It goes to, that can be looked at in so many different ways, but just know who you are, know what you want. Sometimes you have to make adjustments, but at the end of the day, it's your music, and just honestly, no dream is ever too big.
Love that. Congratulations. Thank you so much for the interview. And let's cross fingers that at some point that you're going to be back here in Toronto so we can do this all again with the new singles. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.